Waynesburg hosted a suicide prevention walk, and the esports team is continuing its season.
Nashville is reeling after a mass shooting at a school, and 2 Black Hawk helicopters crashed in Kentucky. All this and more right here on WCTV.
And now, your 5 o'clock news on Channel 14.
Welcome back to your newscast live at 5 here on Channel 14 News. I'm Rebecca Vaughn.
And I'm Austin Bechtold. TikTok has been an item of controversy ever since it became popular nationwide. Online security concerns come to a head in a recent legal battle. Abigail Phillips reports.
Mr. Chu, you are here because the American people need the truth about the threat TikTok poses to our national and personal security.
TikTok, no, not like a clock, is a social media app currently under fire for national security concerns. On March 23rd, a hearing took place between Congress and ByteDance Company to help decide the app's fate.
Our app is a place where people can be creative and curious, and where close to 5 million American businesses, mostly small businesses, go to find new customers and to fuel their growth. Now, as TikTok has grown, we've tried to learn the lessons of companies that have come before us, especially when it comes to the safety of teenagers.
TikTok users don't know how to feel. Some find it necessary for the company to be questioned.
Well, I think that there is some real problems with TikTok and national security. Again, China does have a way to access user data through it. However, I don't think that it's the most pressing issue. And further, there is so much data available about users on the internet already. I do think that there are national security issues and something did have to be done about it. However, one thing that I am very concerned about are some of the provisions in the bill that limit overall internet security that don't have a whole lot to do with TikTok. That's something that I worry about, and it does seem to be an example of the government using a valid issue to overstep a little bit.
And others find it a waste of time.
I honestly think that TikTok being banned is kind of a pointless thing. I mean, I see why they care about the Chinese invading and everything, but I feel as though there are other things that the government needs more to put more attention to than just banning an app.
I'm Abigail Phillips for WCTV.
Esports is a new addition to the traditional sports lineup at Waynesburg University. How do these athletes practice? What drills do they run through? All this and more from WCTV's Tim Durkin.
Welcome to the esports arena. Many games are played here, but one is a little more special than the rest. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the only game in the arena to use a traditional console and controller, and it's the only non-team-based game. This makes practices especially important. How does an esports athlete practice?
Oh, well, we play a lot of rounds against each other because, well, at least for me, I learn a lot better when I play against people a lot better than me.
There are also some drills along the way.
The one that I really liked is that we would start each round with a different amount of stock because sometimes you're down or sometimes you're up and you need to know how to take advantage of it. Well, I've done it a few times, but I think it's really helped me in quite a few matches.
One thing's for sure. While Smash may be different, that difference still brings people together. For WCTV, I'm Tim Durkin.
Waynesburg University was the site of the Out of Darkness Suicide Prevention Walk last Saturday. More than 20 organizations attended, and the proceeds raised were donated to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Those funds are used to fund resources at schools and universities and pay for research into mental health. That's all for local and campus news. When we come back, we'll have news from around the nation.
This is producer Caleb Yager, and you are watching The Buzz.
Welcome back to the newscast, live at 5. Nashville is still mourning the loss of 6 people killed in the mass shooting at the Covenant School on Monday. Mourners gathered for a vigil to remember the victims. It featured a live musical performance from Sheryl Crow. First Lady Jill Biden was also in attendance in Nashville. Earlier in the day, she left flowers at a memorial for the victims. CNN's Carlos Suarez reports.
An emotional vigil in Nashville.
In the sky, Lord, in the sky.
As residents gathered to remember the 6 lives lost after a shooter opened fire at the Covenant School on Monday.
Our hearts are heavy as we join all of Nashville in mourning the deaths of Evelyn Dykes, Holly Scruggs, William Kinney, Cynthia Peak, Mike Hill, and Catherine Kuntz.
First Lady Jill Biden was also in attendance, although she did not speak. Earlier, she visited the memorial at the entrance of the Covenant School and laid flowers.
There was so much hate.
Nashville's mayor offered words of solace before the anguished crowd.
When words just can't carry the weight of what is in our hearts, we must reach out to each other to help each other carry the load, to think of all the hugs that they would have had and all the hugs we can still give each other.
Mourners lit candles and listened to musical performances, including one from singer Sheryl Crow.
Please say honestly, you won't give up on me. I shall believe.
The families of the victims also grieved. 61-year-old Mike Hill was a beloved custodian at the school. His family said he loved to cook and spend time with his family. And, quote, he took great pleasure and found tremendous joy in his job and through those students. 9-year-old William Kinney had an unflappable spirit, according to family friends. They said, quote, he was unfailingly kind, gentle when the situation called for it, quick to laugh, and always inclusive of others. 9-year-old Holly Scruggs had a love for life, according to her aunt. Quote, to watch her these past 9 years has been a gift and a privilege.
We're also getting new information on the investigation. Nashville police believe the shooter, who killed 3 children and 3 adults, had weapons training. It's unclear when and where that training took place, though.
The Army says an aircraft safety team will investigate what caused 2 military helicopters to crash in Kentucky Wednesday night. Brigadier General John Lubis says the crews were conducting a training mission with night vision goggles when the choppers collided. 9 service members are dead as a result of the accident, all from Fort Campbell on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Lubis says investigators will pull data from the helicopter's onboard computers. He says it's important to learn why the choppers went down to prevent similar accidents in the future. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear gave his condolences and also passed on condolences from Tennessee Governor Bill Lee.
Residents in a small Minnesota town are able to return home after an overnight trail derailment and fire. They were evacuated early Thursday morning after a precaution due to more than a dozen cars carrying ethanol and corn syrup derailing. It happened in Raymond, about 2 hours west of Minneapolis. No injuries were reported. The Canandaigua County Sheriff's Office says there has been no groundwater impacts from the derailment and the ethanol leaks. The Environmental Protection Agency is monitoring air quality. The cause of the derailment is under investigation. Minnesota's governor spoke about the derailment in a press conference.
To explode, and during the cleanup you'll see a little more burn off. The fires will get a little bigger again, but they'll get permission to move those other cars is what will happen. Again, local incident command led by the sheriff will make decisions on when you can return to your homes. They will, as quickly as possible, shrink that containment zone based on the best information that's out there and get you back to home. And then the things that'll happen afterwards, what we need to do to follow up. This community is going to expend a lot of resources from your fire department. Again, I would like to thank Mayor Tenson he's out there on the road in uniform fighting the fire himself. just to make sure that after that's done, what it's going to take to reconstitute your resources, what it's going to take of the equipment that was used in this. And then it brings to light things that we've got ambulance crews that are out there that it's very difficult to make sure that we're staffing them and we have the necessary equipment. Special thank you to all of the volunteers. The American Red Cross, I said, we've become accustomed as Americans to take the Red Cross for granted because you simply don't have to ask or call anyone. They just are simply there and doing the work. But I don't think we should take that for granted. These are folks that are dedicated to making their communities work.
Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro returned to the country on Thursday for the first time since his election defeat that culminated in thousands of his supporters rioting in protest at the result. Bolsonaro flew back to Brasilia from Florida, where he stayed for 3 months in self-imposed exile after he failed to win re-election in last year's presidential election. Bolsonaro had never formally conceded defeat and filed a petition contesting the result, but it was rejected by the country's electoral court.
Wall Street Journal editor-in-chief Emma Tucker says she is, quote, very concerned for the safety of a reporter arrested in Russia on Wednesday. Evan Gershkovich was detained in Moscow on suspicion of espionage. Russia's Federal Security Service says Gershkovich was spying for the American government. They say the U.S. citizen was detained while trying to obtain secret information about one of the Russian military-industrial complexes. According to the Wall Street Journal, Gershkovich covers Russia, Ukraine, and the former Soviet Union. He previously worked for Agence France-Presse, the Moscow Times, and the New York Times. In a statement, the Wall Street Journal says it, quote, vehemently denies, unquote, Moscow's allegations of espionage. Gershkovich is the first U.S. journalist arrested in Russia for spying since 1986. The National Press Club is calling on Russia to immediately release Gershkovich, calling his detention unjust. They are also urging the State Department to take action. Russia's foreign ministry says that they have not yet heard from the U.S. regarding the case. The Kremlin would not comment whether this was a retaliatory measure after the U.S. arrested a Russian on espionage charges just last week.
The Senate passed a bill Wednesday that would end the national COVID-19 emergency declared by then-President Donald Trump on March 13, 2020. The voting was overwhelmingly bipartisan, with Republicans leading the way 68-73. The joint resolution, which cleared the House earlier this year, now heads to President Joe Biden's desk for his signature. The vote comes on the heels of 2 other successful efforts led by the Republicans in approving legislative rescinding Biden administration policies. A White House official says while the president strongly opposes the bill, Biden will sign it and the administration will continue to work with agencies to wind down the national emergency. That's all for national news. When we come back, we'll have a business and entertainment update. But first, here's Micah Leaf outside with a quick weather update. Micah?
The March is almost over, but nobody told Mother Nature that. In the full forecast straight ahead, I'll have updates on some severe weather coming through this week.
Welcome back to the newscast for your business and entertainment update. I'm Nick Staso. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are looking into a possible TikTok ban. The social media app has more than 150 million monthly active U.S. users, including small business owners and influencers who rely on the app for a major portion of their profits. So where will all those users go next if the app disappears? In today's Consumer Watch, a look at the platforms that could benefit and how TikTok creators are responding.
Creators, businesses, and influencers are finding themselves in limbo as Congress considers a ban on TikTok if its Chinese owners don't sell their stake in the app.
I have to continue to grow the business. And right now, TikTok is the platform that's been amazing. And I love TikTok.
Ella Livingston is one of more than 150 million monthly U.S. users on TikTok, using the platform to grow her chocolate business called Coco Asante.
We always know that a platform can be gone just like that. And so we are always prepared to pivot. And if it's not TikTok, it's going to be another platform.
And she's not the only one ready to move. Influencers who use TikTok as a primary way of generating revenue are already speculating about where they'll go next.
Here's a few right here: Clapper, Huddles, and Likey, to name a few.
So who stands to benefit from a possible ban? Experts say American tech companies with features similar to TikTok. Meta's Facebook and Instagram allow users to create 15-second video clips called Reels. YouTube has a feature called Shorts. Snapchat's Spotlight highlights entertaining videos.
We'll be able to see it in the
even
video.
Spotify has a TikTok-like video feed with recommended music and other content. TikTok's parent company ByteDance is based in Beijing, and the push to ban the app is driven by concerns about national security.
There's an immediate threat via TikTok from the Chinese Communist Party.
Earlier this month, the CEO of TikTok said the Chinese government had never asked for U.S. user data. And even if they did, the company wouldn't provide it. For Consumer Watch, I'm Shelley Malashi.
Chipotle will pay out $240,000 to former employees to settle union-busting allegations. It comes after Chipotle shut down a location in Maine, Augusta, about a month after employees of the restaurant filed the chain's first petition to unionize. According to the Maine AFL-CIO, the National Labor Relations Board ruled that closure broke the law due to the timing, and because Chipotle banned the Augusta workers from jobs at other Maine locations. Now, under the settlement, those former employees will get preferential rehiring in the state for a year. Meanwhile, the chain says the shutdown was about staffing issues and that it supports the right to organize. Chipotle says it's settling the case to avoid litigation costs. Today in entertainment news, previews of a family film coming this November and a new streaming series premiering today. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Branch! How come you never told me? You had a secret brother!
Correction. Used to be my brother. My brothers walked out on me and never came back.
Branch, we're out of sync. We've gone from boys to men, and now there's only one direction for us to go. The back streets.
Here's your first look at Trolls Band Together, as Anna Kendrick's Poppy and Justin Timberlake's Branch attempt to reunite his brothers as their old band, Brozone. The third Trolls movie pops into theaters November 17th.
I'm 40 years old. I have no discernible talent apart from whistling. And I've only ever been in one relationship. I don't know if I'm happy. Never had to think about it.
Chris O'Dowd has a heck of a midlife crisis in his new series, The Big Door Prize.
We meet Dusty the morning of his 40th birthday, but his life is upended when a magic machine turns up at a local grocery store with the promise of telling everybody what their true life potential is. Dusty, who's kind of happy in his marriage and in his parenting, is suddenly made to feel like he should question all of that happiness.
The Big Door Prize premieres today on Apple TV+. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
More changes are coming to Twitter. CEO Elon Musk says soon only paid subscribers will show up in the For You feed. Starting April 15th, the tab you see when you first sign in will only recommend accounts who pay for premium Twitter service. Also, non-subscribers will not be allowed to vote in polls. Musk said the change was to battle bot accounts, but he's also been pushing people to pay $84 a year for Twitter. Last week, Musk announced that the free blue checkmark was going away. Users who want to keep it will soon have to pay $8 a month or $84 annually. That's all in business and entertainment. Up next is Joe Venzel with all the latest in Waynesburg sports.
Have you ever been to the Everly Library? If not, you should, because it's great. They have books of all different genres: history, biography, fiction. Try The Evolution of Life, Life of Pi, or Jurassic Park. So what if books aren't your thing? Try movies like Frozen or TV shows like Lost. Books and DVDs aren't the only thing though. Take a trip to the second floor. Welcome to the Writing Center. These tutors will tell you everything you need to know about writing a paper, and they'll help revise your essays. Now let's head back down. Behold, the Knox Learning Center. Need to print something out 5 minutes before your next class because you procrastinated? No problem. You can also print off pictures of dogs. Because, well, you can. So grab your homework, laptop, and textbook, and study diligently. Bring your lunch too. Actually, you can't. That's illegal. Now you know the Everly Library. Stop by anytime. Seriously, it's open all week.
Hello, I'm Joe Venzel, and this week in Waynesburg sports was started with action-packed baseball and softball earlier this week. The baseball team hosted 2 homestands this week. On Monday, they faced St. Vincent in a doubleheader, with both games being close. The first game ended in a 6-5 win for St. Vincent and a 5-4 victory for Waynesburg in the second game. Both sophomore Seth Bergdahl and senior Todd Berner homering in the 2 games. On Tuesday, they faced Chatham University. The first game ended with a Chatham victory 6-2, and Waynesburg turned things around in Game 2, winning 6-1. Their record stands at 6-12. They traveled to Franciscan University for a doubleheader on Saturday, April 1st. The softball team started off strong at Teal College on Sunday. Sydney Wilson pitching the first game and then coming into relief the second game. Standout pitcher freshman Autumn Stemple finished her day with 3 strikeouts, and Sydney Wilson finished her day with 10. The Jackets won their first game 7-0, and the second game 11-4 in a wild 6-run inning comeback led by Cassidy Trimble, Jasmine Demansky, and Reagan Benchoder. Yesterday they hosted Pitt Greensburg at home, winning the first game 3-0 and the second 13-0, only 5 innings after the Mercy Rule. They are playing currently against Chatham University. The first game ended with a score of 8-0, and the second game started at 5 o'clock, and the current score is 2-0 Waynesburg. Track and field participated at Bethany College this past Saturday, and notable placers on the women's side, we had senior Becca Dolce placing 3rd in shot put, and Megan Berry placing 1st in javelin throw, as well as Grace Tanksley placing 3rd in the 5,000-meter running event. On the men's side, Andrew Kemmer placed 3rd in the triple jump, Tyreek Williams placed 4th in the 110-meter hurdles, and finally the 4x1 relay team placed 2nd. Their next event is the Dave Labor Invitational in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, where they will face open competition. The lacrosse team won huge this past Saturday night over a big win against Spalding University, 19-2, their largest margin of victory statistically. Senior Tori Michael John had 7 goals in the historic win. Their past 2 games ended with a 23-3 loss on Tuesday to Chatham and a 20-2 loss to Allegheny on Wednesday. Their next game is Monday at home versus Muskingum at 3 p.m. And finally, the women's golf team finished 3rd out of 3 teams this past weekend at the Steubenville Country Club relative to Franciscan University. They travel to the Grove City Invitational this Saturday. This has been your sports report. When we come back, we have Michael Leith with the weather.
You're watching WCTV, where we aim to bring you the best local coverage of what you care about most. Everything from local businesses to hometown sports and the latest weather. We're keeping up to date with what you need to know about issues that affect our campus and our community. We're telling the stories that matter, celebrating our past, our future, and our potential. So tune in for all the latest buzz right here on WCTV Channel 14, Waynesburg.
Hello and welcome back to the Newscast live at 5. We are slowly starting to see some more and more spring weather as we get closer to April, but the old adage of March going out like a lion is certainly holding true. We've seen severe winds for the past week or so, and the National Weather Service has issued a high wind watch for Saturday. More on that in a moment. It's currently 47 degrees here in Waynesburg, and you can expect those clear skies to continue into tonight. Tomorrow, expect some warmer temperatures and periods of rain as a storm system works its way into southwestern Pennsylvania. That front is bringing some heavy winds with it, and you can expect Friday night to start getting pretty breezy. A high of 58 and a low of 53, so no extreme temperature swings. Moving into Saturday, however, we are looking at the most severe weather of the week. Remember, there is a high wind advisory in effect, and you can expect gusts of up to 60 miles per hour. There's also a good chance of a severe thunderstorm in the afternoon or evening. The high will be 65, and the low will drop all the way down to 28. Depending on how long that storm sticks around, we could even see some snow showers overnight. So there's lots to keep track of there. Moving away from Saturday, you can expect the weather to calm down a bit and slowly warm up on Sunday. We'll have a high of 53 and a low of 34 with sun throughout the day. Monday will be extremely pleasant with a high of 70 and a low of 51 with even more sun. Tuesday, expect some clouds and some warm temps as more precipitation works its way into the area. There's going to be a high of 75 and a low of 7. Wednesday will be the warmest day of the week with a high of 77 and a low of 54 degrees with lots of rain and a thunderstorm. Thursday will be cooler with a high of 66 and a low of 34. Expect some cloudy skies and some off-and-on showers. This has been your weather here on WCTV.
Thanks, Micah. That'll do it for this edition of the Newscast, the final edition of March before we head into April next week. And to watch the Newscast live at 5 every Thursday on Channel 14, or be able to catch up on some of the previous episodes on the official WCTV YouTube channel. We thank you for watching. For Joe Venzel, Nick Staso, Michael Leith, our producer Tim Durkin, and Rebecca Vaughn, I'm Austin Bechtold saying so long and have a great night, Waynesburg.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.